You know how many sides there are to every story? 20. Hello, dungeon friends. I'm the Lich, and this is the Liching Hour. And before you do whatever it is you do when you get here, in dungeon news. As you all are very much aware, the Mind Flayers have laid siege to our dungeon. It's over. Haha, kidding. The vampires in HR have already scouted the whole camp. Alright? They have no idea that we've hollowed out the stalagmites and stalactites in there. I've been waiting so long to use those. So here's the deal. Zombies from level 1, you're going in first en masse. We're going to flood the cavern with you. The Mind Flayer psionics won't work as well on you, and you'll keep the drow thralls busy. When the zombies are released, I want goblins stationed in stalactites to drop your boom booms, while our fungoid friends from level 5 release ghost mushroom dust in the air to confuse the minds of the thralls. The vampires have identified the key Mind Flayer generals, and our groups of trolls, ogres, and vampires are going to burst up out of 2 of the large stalagmites and target them directly. I will be leading that charge. I've got something in mind for these hoity-toity, octopus-faced brain slurpers. Let's do this. Viva la dungeon!
Wow, okay. I guess we're going to war with the Mind Flayers. I wish someone would have left a memo about that for me. I've been a little busy lately, but it's all right. I'm looking forward to the battle. Welcome to Friday Nights of the Liching Hour. I'm Kevin from HR, and on Friday nights we are playing Dungeon Crawl Classics. Tonight we are wrapping up the solo venture for Naomi, our I was going to say paladin. She's a cleric. She's attempting to win the favor of Justicia, goddess of mercy and justice. And Justicia sent her on a little quest. She's gone off, and so far she's made some friends. She almost died last time. I mean, we got really close. She got really close to dying. We're talking like 2 hit points. She called out for Justicia's help. It turned out to be the right idea. She, let me set the scene, if you didn't join us last time. Overall, Naomi was sent to a village of Palmaville, many days, weeks away from where they were, where she was, Duskfell. And leaving her friends behind, going off on her own. When she got there, she found the town in turmoil, like literally that night, being besieged by undead. Turns out there's an ancient evil, as usual, that's trapped in a old abandoned ruins nearby, and battling her way, making some friends, battling her way down into the thing, into the crypts. Into a ancient crypt. She found that the seal had been broken by some adventurers that had come by a couple days before, and there had been a piece that had been removed. So her and her companions went off to track down that adventurer. Turns out the adventurer didn't get very far out of town before being attacked by something, and they were able to track this something back. It was a group of bandits and a some kind of half like a centaur, but it looked like it was a stag bottom and a grotesque woman top, and who could cast spells and had charmed the adventurers, the other adventurers, and forced them to fight our party. And our party didn't do. There were some key roles our party missed on the way there, so there were only 3 of them. It was Naomi, Captain Miles the dwarf, and Serene the wizard. And it almost cost them all their lives. But a Hail Mary at the end by Naomi, begging for, asking Justicia for divine intervention, she was able to clear the mind of the dwarf who was attacking them. They had already killed the other adventurer, unfortunately, Giles, who was the leader of the group, and had forced the creature to flee, but Theric was still fighting, and he was gonna demolish him. He's a monster. And she called on Justicia to save him in his mind, and that was the right call. Justicia definitely liked that call and cleared Therek's mind. His name is Therek. He was very, very apologetic and very it crushed him the state of affairs when he came to that not only is his friends dead, but he had almost killed other people and he'd been under this spell of this creature. So he was a bit indebted to Naomi. Literally limping back down the hill from the ancient keep where, there's that word again. I'm going to think of a different word than ancient, than the old abandoned keep where this creature had made its lair. It had charmed the bandits as well who attacked them. They went back down, and it was night now, and they got their horses, and they didn't want to camp, but they were in really bad shape. So they did their best to get back into town. But to their a little bit of amazement, they got back to town without incident, no zombies. They were worried about running into undead in the forest because the last 2 nights, the town and the surrounding area had been besieged by this. Every night the undead had come to party, but they didn't meet any. And they made it back into town. Naomi and Serene were in really bad shape. Therek helped Naomi and Serene into the inn. Captain Miles, he wasn't in terrible shape, but he was in bad shape. But he went off to find the mayor. So, Naomi passes out completely to oblivion in the inn. She has another dream of Jasper. This time, Jasper is this humongous Titan creature. I don't know if this was the same dream she had the night before, but she knew it was him. But he was a giant. He's a giant, this grotesque, horrifying Titan creature, and he was ripping things apart, like animals, live animals, ripping them apart, cows and like literally taking them by his hands because he was giant, ripping them apart and sucking out juices, but then just playing in the blood. It was really messed up, and she woke in a sweat and very afraid for her friend. And she decided, she's like, this is all got to come to an end soon because she has to get back to her friends. She has no idea what's going on and why she keeps having these dreams. When she wakes, it's early morning. No, it's got to be before lunch. And she goes downstairs to eat in the inn. There's a little bit of people in the inn. I'm trying to remember what the brother's name was. The innkeeper died. First night she was there, he joined her party and went with them to try to clear some of the town with zombies. And it was Gregory, and he didn't make it. And his brother, I want to say is Michael. He did survive, and he attends to her. And the wife is very quiet. It's still a very somber atmosphere because the town's basically under siege. So he gets her breakfast and stuff, and she starts asking, if of Miles. And it's not long after that Miles comes down, and then Therek. Serene doesn't. Miles, not yet. Terrence, Miles says Terrence will be by soon. He should be by soon. Now, Terrence is the son of the mayor, and Terrence does come just as they're finishing up their meal. Terrence comes in the door with his mother, the mayor, and they kind of give them the lowdown on what's been going on. They were really surprised that they had found there was no signs of undead that night, but they don't take it as that everything's over. They're worried that there's some kind of maybe they're gathering for like a big assault or something. And when Naomi shows the mayor the rod that they had found that the other adventurer had taken, and they introduced Therek, and Therek apologizes profusely for having any involvement. They did not know that removing the rod was going to unleash this evil upon the town, and he's heartbroken all the damage that's been caused. The mayor accepts his apology with a tight lip, nod, and she's not too happy by it all, but it looks like the poor man, sounding by his friends getting killed and being charmed, that he's been through a lot. So she wasn't gonna punish him more. But he's no friend of the village, that's for sure, in her mind. But they discuss the plan. They need to put the rod back, and the mayor thinks she's a smart woman. She thinks that whatever evil is there is gathering its strength, and that either is going to put an all-out, have an all-out, attack, assault, zombie assault, maybe tonight, or whatever, but gathering up all the zombies it can, or it's going into high, protection mode. And so either way, there's going to be a big fight, she thinks. And Naomi nods, because that's the way it always is, right? Yeah. So Terrence, he didn't join them last night because he was staying to help the village, but he looks to be in good health. Doesn't look like anything can get Terrence down. Well, actually, he stayed with the town, but there was no zombies. So there was nobody to fight. So he's ready to go. He's going to be joining them. He says, I have, since we have some other villagers who stayed up, who are ready to fight last night and didn't get a fight and are willing to go with us to help. And he goes outside and calls them in, and we are introduced to Pole, Mecker, Niles, and Baudrick, farmers and woodcutter, who all want to lend their hand to taking out whatever evil is up in those ruins. Naomi doesn't even give it a second thought. She's like, thank you very much for joining the fight. But the big question is Serene. Naomi goes up to check on Serene, and Serene stayed at the inn. She's the daughter of the local lord. She would usually have gone home, but she was in pretty bad shape. She had to spell burn a bunch of ability points in order to keep everybody alive and cast her spells in the last battle. So she's not in a good way. So what we're going to do, we're going to determine whether or not she's going to join us. Naomi's going to try to heal her, and if she heals her well, then Serene will be joining us tonight. If not, she will not be. So this will be the first roll of the night. Always seems to be Naomi rolling too as the first roll of the night. I'm chosen to wear my glasses tonight because I'm going to go to the... But sometimes that happens. There. But I'm going to be going to this screen soon, so really shouldn't be a big deal. Right. All right, Naomi. Let's see what Justicia thinks today. You get a +3 for your lay on hands spell check. And yeah. Look at that. That is pretty good. Pretty sneaky, sis. All right, Naomi's sitting by Serene's bed talking to her. It's like, do you think, Serene's, I want so bad, but it's so hard to get. Maybe if we just wait one more night. And then Naomi's like, well, we have to take care of this now. Here, let me call on Justicia. She lowers her head, places her hands on Serene. And Serene is actually law as well. So this is a good thing. And Naomi's just a little worried. She had done the whole the night before. The day before, did the whole divine intervention, which is usually means she ups her disapproval range quite a bit. But for the sake of the story, that's not gonna happen. Well, actually, no. We could just to make things more interesting. The divine aid, the ruling on it, is that this extraordinary act imparts a cumulative +10 penalty to future disapproval range. And she hasn't had a chance to... Well, she did sleep last night. It's supposed to be after a rest. So, yeah, she's fine. Fine. So, or do we make it interesting? Let's make it interesting. All right, so the disapproval range right now is 10. What that means, for those of you in the know, not in the know, when a cleric rolls, if they fail a roll for a spell check or lay on hands or anything or turning, they mark off their disapproval range. If that roll is within the disapproval range, they have to roll on the disapproval chart, and bad things ensue typically. You gotta maybe drop where you are and pray for 3 hours. It's happened before. If you remember from People in the Pit, it happened to Naomi with her previous deity, which is why we have found ourselves here. Okay. Good news. Naomi heals Serene. Serene goes, oh, I feel so much better. Now, we're not going to heal all her ability scores. We're going to give her 1. Just to get her out of minuses with personality. We'll make her to 9. Now you gain ability scores back. She's spell burned, which means she spent actual ability points out of her ability scores to cast spells. She drained quite a few of them. Not too bad. She's not in negatives right now, so we'll just move that 1 up that she was on a negative to a 9 in per personality, and she'll be good. So her little knight, she's got a familiar who's an actual little knight, who's sitting at the end of the bed, who stands to attention and salutes Naomi when Serene sets up. Says, okay, let's go. Let's finish this, she says. Okay, all right, Serene, let's finish this. So we've got quite the party tonight. We have Naomi, Captain Miles, of course, Theric. Theric's going to be joining us. Terrence, Serene, and then our farmers and woodcutter are going to join us. Those are 0 level characters. The rest of us are 2nd level. I think we're all 2nd level, right? No, Terrence is only 1st level. And so Serene. She'll be 2nd level soon. All right. So they gather up. It's afternoon. Everyone feels up to speed. Yep. Everybody's kind of healed up. They start talking about how they're going to get there. So if you remember the first time they went down into the... So here's the deal. The town is... overlooking the town on a hill nearby is an ancient ruins that aren't disturbed very often. They never caused any problem before. These adventurers come into town, Theric and party, and had left, and when they left, they take something with them, unlocked ancient evil, yada yada. Well, the graveyard is at the base of the hill, and the crew had gone there first to clean up bodies and search, see if there was any clues to where the zombies were coming from. And they found a crypt inside the one crypt that was unopened, and they saw tracks going into it. When they opened that up, they found an untouched crypt and a secret door at the back. The secret door led to a passageway that took them into this into this old temple that was below the fort on the hill. Now the team before Theric speaks up, the Giles and the previous adventure party had gone to the top of the hill and found a entrance to the temple there. Yes. Hey, Heroic. Yeah, she's going to... so the idea is if Naomi survives this, she's going to get back to Dustfall and reunite with the original party. This is just a little side mission going on here. Yes. So the discussion is, how are they going to get... Are they going to take the route where they went in the graveyard? But the thing is that when they did that, the elf Shanna was with them, who the trader with a D, who had skipped town after going into the crypt and fighting the the zombies down there, she was like, I'm done with this. I'm out. And so they no longer have a person who they're, Naomi's like, well, we could go through the graveyard, but does anybody remember how she opened that door? Because one of the walls was a secret door that took them into this this large room with an altar that led them to the crypt. And none of them were, well, it was Terrence and Serene. Nobody remembers how she opened the door. And then Theric mentioned, he's like, well, we went through this ladder. It's pretty much exposed. We didn't close it back up in the fort, in the abandoned fort on the hill. So they decide that they're going to go in that way. It's not much of a climb to go up to the hill. It's a short scramble up steep bramble-grown hillside. They reach the top of the cairn. It's a cairn. The town is spread out below them. The ruins lie around them, covered in moss and ivy. At first glance, they don't seem unusual. There's children's graffiti scrawled in several places, spreading out. They don't have to spread out because Theric goes, "Come here, this way." He takes him over to a portion that had been dug away in a corner. They've been something had been dug away, and there's they have a wooden. They see then now they find like evidence of their camp, Giles' camp and stuff. There's the hole had revealed some stairs going down into the temple, about 30 or 40 feet as they kind of start going down into this. Now Naomi's leading the charge with Captain Miles, Terrence, and then Terrence is gonna lead up the rear with the peasants in between him and them. So they're gonna start making their way down into it. So they're going down the stairs. It's cold, damp, musty in this old temple. Of course, smell of age is thick in their nostrils as they're making their way down these stairs. About 30 or 40 feet before it ends into a dark corridor. Naomi's got Law's light. She draws Law's light, her warhammer, and it happily lights up for her, and it lights about 20 feet around them so they can see a little bit better. It's one of the perks of it giggles a little bit in anticipation of killing. It's like there's more of them here, it says. It means the undead. So where they found themselves is a joining passage between two largest rooms. Another set of stairs goes up across them from them, and they can see several doors. And let's see, yeah, there's a big set of double doors to the right that have this like coiling dragon emblazoned on the doorway. Now this is familiar to them because that was on the floor of the room they entered previously. And so they already know that those are the doors that they need to go through to get to the altar. Had been a trapped altar that they had to move certain skulls to move it and go down into the crypt. So they're kind of retracing their steps from a different angle this time. They go up to the doors, and they seem to. Naomi says, "I seem to remember this being propped open last time, and not closed when we were here last." And Miles grunts, well. And Miles walks up to it and grabs them to open them. And when he does that, we need to roll for him. We need to roll. Because that's when... Actually, we're going to do two things. One, as he gets up close to it, we're going to give him an intelligence check. He needs to make an intelligence check. He hears nothing. So he walks up. He's clanking, clank, clank, clank. Grabs the doors. He goes to pull them, and that's when it hits him. All right. We need him to make a fort save. Ooh, awesome. Good. So he doesn't go blind. That's good. So this shock, he feels the energy just as he goes to hit the door. He feels the energy on his hands before when there's a big pulls that big rings that he can pull on. He feels the energy crackle, and before he touches, he pulls back enough where it kind of dissipates, and he feels it. And Naomi's, "Are you all right?" He's like, "Yeah." "Do you need help?" No, I got this. And he goes, he grabs it, and it's fine. He pulls open the door, and as soon as he pulls open one of the door, arms, legs come through. He didn't hear the shuffling on the other side and the light moans, but zombies just flood into the room, just shambling quickly through. He just opened it up enough that they were able to start pushing through in mass. Large amount, it must be 15 of them come flooding into the room. The peasants, now the peasants have been fighting zombies the last couple nights, so they're not too afraid. They're a little afraid, but they're a little ready because they've been ready for the whole night, from the night before. So we don't have them too scared, and there's nothing. This is just a bunch of zombies coming flooding in. So we're gonna roll initiative. Naomi, 14. Miles, 10. That was Terrence. Nice. 19. 3 is Theric. 4. Then Serene is 5. And then the peasants, we'll roll for them all together as one group. Ooh, 19. And then do they have... Oh, one of them's really fast. We'll cut them. Bodrick has got a 17 agility. Go Bodrick. He's not very... His stamina is 18, though. But his intelligence is 16. Wow. He'd be a pretty cool wizard. Use a bow and... Alright, anyway. So they... we'll put them at a 20. And then the zombies. 5. Minus 3 is 2. So they come flooding in through the door, but they're coming in slow. The peasants, like I said, they're not afraid. They're ready and maybe a little too willing, but they've literally 3 of them have pitchforks. The farmers all have pitchforks, and the woodcutter's got a hand axe, so that makes sense. So they just come rushing forward. They see Captain Miles, who's not even one of their... He doesn't live there in town. Miles and Naomi have... And Terrence is already... He's lived there, and he's already a little bit of a local legend. But Naomi and Miles are, like, big time. They're now... Because Naomi's, like, the White Knight who came into town to slay zombies. She's the undead slayer. And Miles, he's from the king's army. So they see him... open the door, and the zombies start flooding in. They just rush to like help him and just start kicking some zombie butt. So we're gonna do this where the zombies start coming in. They can fit. The doors are pretty big. They can do like 4 at a time. So the first 4 are making their way in and pull. These 4 guys are attacking them. So let's roll for pull. Let's see, he's a pitchfork +1. Okay. And what are we? Okay, AC 10. Alright, pull's hitting 1. Maker's hitting his. Niles is getting 1. Bodrick is not. Okay. So pull. Oh, these pitchforks do really good damage. Really good. Okay, pull. Not. They do good damage, but so pull runs up, sticks one zombie right through the midsection, and as most of us know, you kind of want to like stick him in the head, right? He sticks it, and it just kind of like it's just gonna start climbing its way down the pitchfork at him. But it does do damage. I mean, he did take damage. He took actually 3 points of damage. Mecher is going to take 2 points of damage because he's got a -1. His strength isn't very good. So Mecker's the same deal. He turns it actually sideways and sticks it sideways, and it starts waving. It starts climbing down the thing at him as well. So it's 2. So. Okay, and then Niles, not very strong either. His hand axe. Okay. Slices, and instead of going for the head, well, actually, maybe he tries to go for a head, but he misses the head and cuts into its shoulder, which just kind of sinks into its flesh. He tears it out, but it doesn't slow it down. And then Bodrick just straight up misses with his pitchfork. And he misses with a pitchfork. He just goes through some clothes. He's got it sideways instead of horizontally. Goes through its clothes. The clothing that you could, I guess you can't really call it clothing. It's just fabric of some sort that's just kind of loosely hanging on them. It's rotted and hanging. Okay, that was our first wave. Terrence has got a short bow out. He doesn't like the fact that these guys have all gone running up there. He doesn't like he's seen as many as all the zombies that are behind those. I mean, there got to be 15. He's thinking. Damn it! He thinks he doesn't want to use his short bow. Damn it! He drops his short bow, runs up there, drawing his short sword as he's running. And he gets up in there, and he watched Bodrick miss. So he goes up at the one that Bodrick missed with his short sword. Hitting it. And then he's doing... Oh, wait, hold on. Ha. I didn't call him Mighty D, but I should have. That's cool. So he runs up. He puts his hand on Bodrick. He goes, and he uses it momentum, and he slices, and the zombie's head comes right off. He goes, "Remember to aim for the head," he says to Bodrick, as the zombie's body falls to the ground without a head. 1 down. And 1 fills its place quite quickly. Right. So then it's Naomi. Naomi's gonna do the thing. Naomi walks up, grabbing her holy symbol off her neck, and raises it. And let's see what happens. Her disapproval range is 10 right now. Does Justicia want her to hand slay all these zombies? Okay, so she gets +3 plus her luck mod when she turns unholy. So she actually gets +5. +5, 12 plus 5 is 17 last I checked. And that means that she can turn 1d3 plus caster level. Okay, that's nothing to slouch at. That is 1d3 and a 3 plus 2. That's 5 of them. So she reaches up, pulls up her holy symbol, and says, "In the name of Justicia," and the warhammer only she can hear goes, "Yes." She says, "Turn back, you foul beasts." Foulness. Return to the pits of foul that you came from. The ones in front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The ones that were hit by the Mecher and Pole and them, and then a couple others, fall back and are like kind of lost as the other ones come climbing over them, past them, but they're out of commission. 3, 4, 5. So there's only 9 left. Okay. That was Naomi. Good show, Naomi. Now it's Miles. Miles on the other side of the door. God. He's going to... Let's see. He... Yeah. He's got to draw his longsword. It's going to take him a turn to draw his longsword because he was not prepared for that. For all this to happen. So that's what he's doing right now, is getting himself ready. Getting out from behind the door and getting his sword out. That leaves Serene. Okay. Serene is rested. She has remembered her spell of Flaming Hands. She's going to do something. Okay, so Midas is her little knight. And when I say little, he's literally like a foot tall. In full plate armor. Never lifts his thing. She's never seen his face. He's the one that came. He's the one that answered the call. And she loves a little combo that she does, which is she casts Enlarge on him. So we're going to try that. 139. She gets +2 to the check. Oh, brother. So she goes down on one knee and speaks to Midas as she's tries to say the words of power, but the cry of Naomi saying the words of power and the battle and everything, she can't grasp onto the words in the right way, and they flee, and she's like, damn it, she's forgotten it. So that was her turn. The first roll for wizards spellcasters always seems to suck for me. That was Serene, and now it's Theric. Theric is a beast for sure. He's going right up in there. When I mean up in there, he's charging into the zombies. Out of the way, coming through. Pull and make her move away a little bit just in time as he comes crashing into. He's gonna try to hit 2 of these guys at one time. He's gonna use a mighty deed die to do that. Well, not use, but he's gonna call that as a mighty deed and then roll his mighty deed die. Oh boy! So he not only did he roll a 4. Oh, you guys can't see it. So that's a 14. So he hit, and it's a 4 on his mighty deed die, his deed die, which means he succeeds in his die. So I'm gonna let him do half damage to the other one. So he slams into one. He's gonna hit it hard with his warhammer. Oh, he gets +3 too, so that's actually a 17. So he does 1d8 +3. So yeah, we'll do half damage to the other one. We'll half it of this. So that was 7 points of damage. So he'll do 3 to the other one. The one that he hits just almost disintegrates. He yells, oh, it comes charging in between them, slashes warhammer, its chest just explodes, and that's the other trick, is if you aren't going to hit it in its head, then make sure it never gets up again. And its chest explodes, and he carries through, and he hits the one next to it, slams into its arm. It doesn't go all the way through. It kind of sticks in between its arm and its rib cage. He pulls it out with a wet crack, swamp, and but it's still moving and not dead. All right, Theric, good show. And now it's the zombies' turn. So okay. So we have 4 in the front and more pushing the rear. The one that just hit, 2 of them are jumping on Theric, because Theric's kind of just out in the, he's in front. The one that he just hit, and the one that was next to him are falling on him. He's wearing half plate though, so his armor class is 17. One of them misses terribly. The other one misses not so well either. Let's see. We're going to roll a d4 on the fumble chart and see what happens. One of them goes to try to grab and claw him, and it hits his armor at the wrong way, and you hear a sick little thunk as its hand, it's just, the hand's kind of damaged and doesn't really do anything, just kind of slaps against the half plate. And then the other goes like this, and he's already down and moving. This ain't his first rodeo either. So they miss. Another one is attacking Terrence. Of course. I'm going to move this here since I seem to hug that corner. How Terrence, what you got? Ooh, Terrence got an armor class of 13, so yeah. Where are these zombies at? They're +1. Okay. Alright. And then he only takes a point of damage, but he doesn't have a whole lot. He's only level 1. So Terrence gets a claws across his neck. Reaches out and claws his neck. The 2 and 3, and then we got one more. That other one's going for it's Bodrick and Terrence are right there up there in front. One's going for Terrence, the other one goes for Bodrick. And he rolls a 13. Bodrick, being a radish farmer without any armor, is oh wow, his AC is actually 12 because he's pretty fast. Too bad that didn't help. Yeah, that didn't help at all. Oh boy. Okay. Right. The other zombie grabs Bodrick and puts his grabs him around the throat and starts digging his fingers in, and Bodrick starts screaming. Ah! Bodrick only has 2 hit points, so now he has 1, and we're gonna have to do something about that, or Bodrick is gonna die. Okay, the other ones are gonna have to get in the door, since yeah. So what we're gonna do is there's gonna be 2 more that squeeze through, but that'll be the round for them. So next round there'll be 6 that we have to deal with. So back to the top of the list is the peasants. Let's see what Bodrick does. Yeah. Let's see if Bodrick can get out of this clawed throat. He's going to attack the zombie that's attacking him. Oh yeah, he hit him. He hits him this time. Not for very much though. 2 on a D8. That sucks. So he uses his pitchfork and get up in his rib cage, but doesn't go any further. He manages to tear his throat back out. It's not tear his throat out. He manages to move back, and the nails rip out some, skin, but not rip out his throat. So he's not dead, but he's close. He's going to be dead if he gets grabbed again. He'll probably be eaten. Pole and Mecker are jumping on the attacking the one that the 2 that attacked. They're right in front there with Theric. So yeah, like Pole's gonna grab one. 11. Mecker, ooh, 18. And Niles is jumping in one. Oh, Miles misses. Yep, that makes sense. Everybody's kind of moving. Niles in the back. He tries to reach over Theric and hit one and doesn't work. These two guys, though, Pole does 5. And, oops, Mecker does 5. All right, good news. They, with their pitchforks, now that they heard Terrence say, remind them that they need to hit the heads, both pitchforks find heads. Shink, shink. Pole and Mecker now have zombie heads perched on their pitchforks. Terrence says, "That's right, boys," and swings again at the next zombie coming through. 15. And what's he doing? 1d6. Just a regular old 1d6. Oh, but that's +2. Yeah. And another zombie's head goes flying. Shh. You know any of these guys? Terrence yells out. Pulls it. No. Mecker says, that might be... No, wait, no. I don't know him either. It's men and women, and there's no children, though. We don't go that far in the crypt. All right. We are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zombies left. Okay, that was our peasants. That was Terrence. Now it's Naomi, who Law's Light is itching for her to join the fight. But she doesn't want to get in the mix there. Everybody's up in... so Naomi takes out a little vial of holy water and is chucking it at one of the zombies that's coming through the door. Just trying to squeeze its way through the door. It's going to be a ranged roll. And she makes it, and the vial explodes when on contact. And she sees steam and stuff rising up as the water kind of decays, suddenly acidically decays parts of its body. But it's still moving. It's still coming. That's Naomi with the little holy bomb. Miles is back and comes ripping around the door right into a mess. A couple of zombies that are pushing their way in. He is going to take one out. Oh, that is a 2 and a 1. He's got a long sword. The long sword, I won't count it as a fumble. It's darn close though. He swings and the tip hits the door. God, crumbs, beard. Yeah, so that didn't work. And then it's Serene. Serene has sent Midas out to fight zombies. His little feet have gotten him all the way there to start attacking. Well, actually, no. He'll attack next turn. I feel like Serene she's going to send Midas, and she's going to hold back, and she doesn't want to forget any more spells because she doesn't know what's coming next, and it seems like these guys are doing a good job, so she's waiting one turn to see what happens. And then Theric, and deep in the heart of the mess there, starts swinging again. Deep in the heart of the mess. He does not do as well this time. He rolls an 8, 9. Oh wait, hold on. He does just fine because he's got a +3, so that's 12. He hits one of them. Oops, we're not doing a mighty deed this time. And he comes up this way, and the warhammer comes through one of its bodies. His hand goes up with it, and then comes out this way and blows one of its heads back behind him. The head goes flying out behind him. He's covered in zombie gore now. And yeah, now it's zombies' turn. We got 4 left. we're going to spread them out. We're going to... One's attacking Pull. Ooh, that's a 17. That's a 17, boys. But only 1 point of damage. So, Pull... it grabs him and bites down on his upper arm. He screeches in pain, but he managed to pull away before it does any major damage. One is going for Theric and totally can't get a grip on that half plate. Another one's going for, because Miles had come around and his sword had caught on the door. One of the zombies notices this and takes advantage of it. Ooh, and yeah. But he only does a point of damage. Miles. Oh, right. Alright, Miles. How much hit points you got, buddy? Oh. Wow. He was down to 1 hit point last night. Or the last night in the story. Huh. Okay. Okay. Zombie, zombie, zombie. And one left. One left. It's attacking eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It's attacking Terrence. And he misses Terrence. Terrence hide armor is a little tricky. The zombie reaches out and grabs the hide part, tries to pull him, but it just, the fur just comes out in its hands. It's dirty, filthy claws. Right. Okay. Let's finish him off. Think this is all of them. There aren't any more coming. The peasants. Terrence says that out loud. That kind of invigorates the peasants, and they push in. Pole, Maker, and Bodrick all lower their, or raise their pitchforks and go headhunting, yelling out a makeshift battle cry. We're gonna roll 3 d20s here. Wow. Well, okay. This will be Pole. He gets a +1. That's 9. He's gonna spend a point of luck, because why not? To make it. So he's gonna hit. Mecker is going to fumble. We're gonna roll on the fumble chart, see what happens. 5. You trip and fall, wasting the action. He's prone on the ground. Luckily he didn't stab himself with his pitchfork. Bodrick. Oh, this is Bodrick. 9. He gets +0, but he's gonna spend a point of luck as well to make that a 10 to hit the zombie. So we've got 2 zombie hits. This will be Pole, and he does all right. His head hunting technique works because he skewers his zombies right at the head with his pitchfork, and then Bodrick attempts that with his pitchfork, but he only gets one of the tines in. It's like face and jaw, so it kind of rips. It goes. Now its jaw's hanging, and it's not dead. Niles rushes in at that moment to strike at that same one with his axe. Ooh, look at that. He is going to finish him. Can he finish him? No. So he hacks and just manages to hit it in its arm, but not even take out the arm. The axe tip bites into its arm. It got its attention though. Terrence. For Palmaville. 13. He's taking on a zombie. Should be at least. No, he's not doing 1d8. Well, it doesn't matter. It's a 2. +2 is 4. Yeah, he kills the one that's was attacking him before. Where the head goes. Okay. Naomi. Naomi, you're gonna. Yep. Law's lights out. She's gonna go wading in. There's only 3 left standing. She's gonna go and try to take care of one of them. Not gonna happen. We won't even mention this. We won't talk about it any more than this. Miles. Miles, are you gonna do something this time, man? Oh, maybe not. No, no, man. God, he hits the door again, and he is so mad. He's like beat red. And then, oh man, I hope we don't lose somebody because of this. Somebody being one of the peasants. So that was Miles, and now it's Serene. Little Midas comes. All Naomi hears as the little knight passes her, attacking the legs of one of the zombies. He's usually pretty brutal, but the zombie moves away before, as he swings. He doesn't get the leg as it moves to pounce on one of the peasants, which is what's going to happen. So Theric, unless Theric can take care of, let's see. We got 2 zombies near the peasants, and Theric and Naomi. Okay, and this is Theric. He's definitely hitting one, and he's going to be doing 4 points of damage. He finishes one off. There are 2 left. One on them, and one over there near Miles. And that's what's happening. So the one that almost got Pole, grabbed him, stuck his nails in, and pulled away. It's still on him. It wants to eat Pole for sure. It's all up in his face. Ooh, and it just might do it too. Oh boy, here we go. So it reaches in, it grabs him again. He's like, no, 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 no. And while his pitchfork stuck on another one's head, it bites down on his neck, and his jugular just explodes in its mouth. And Naomi screams out, Mecker screams out, Bodrick, Niles, as Pole, it just kind of quickly chews through his neck. And we've lost our first peasant. We're gonna roll a morale check on these guys. Yeah. Yep. This is gonna be for Mecker, Niles, and Bodrick. Wow. That is a 96. Well, I didn't designate which one. It's 96 or 69. Either way, they passed. So they do not run. This steals their resolve, in fact. For Pole! For Palmaville! We still got 2 zombies left. Let's finish this up. The peasants are up first, so Mecker, Bodrick, and Niles go apeshit on this one zombie. Maybe a little too apeshit. Bodrick is, no, it was Pole. No, Pole was the purple one. Bodrick is the purple one. Oh, Mecker was laying down. Mecker just tried to get up, so he wasn't even part of this roll. So 9, if it's Bodrick, he has a +0. He's going to spend another point of luck. And he hits it with a pitchfork. Oh, he moiters it. He moiters it. He's screaming in pain from his friend. He skewers the zombie, which still has a piece of his friend's neck in its mouth. Not that that's funny. That's just messed up. Just messed up. We got 1 left. He's all over trying to get at Miles. I think Theric's gonna. No, not Theric. Terrence is gonna finish him off right now. Right, Terrence. Hello, Terrence. Hello, Philip. All right. That is a 11 plus 1 for the might die. 7. Oh, yeah. As Terrence skewers the last zombie and everyone catches their breath, Naomi wishes they could have been a little bit better off, just quick enough to save Paul. She tries, she runs over there, she moves over there, gets down and tries to speak out to Justicia, but it's just too late. He's too far gone. Let's move on. We have to keep moving. Keep moving. Is what Miles says. We've come here for a purpose. He's the military guy, so he's all about let's get the mission done. Let's go. And he's really mad. Super mad. They find themselves in the room they were in before, and they'd been here before. It's a pretty large room with an altar at one end that has a really grotesque like skulls and stuff on it, and it's on a dais. The dais had been trapped, where if you stand on it, these spirits would come out, and they had to fight these spirits. And then there's these huge statues in these alcoves of these horrific beasts, and in the belly of one of them was where they found Law's light. Had been trapped there for God knows how long, centuries. That's why it's a little nutty now. But the altar had oh, this is good. They know that there's stairs underneath it, but it's back to its original position. And Shanna, the the elf had wait, she was an elf. She was a thief. She was a traitor. Had been the one to undo it. And Naomi's like, she looks at Miles and Terrence says, do you remember? And Serene, we're gonna have to try this. So who's gonna try doing this? Who's got the best agility? Oh, Theric goes, I remember how to do it. He goes up and he pulls this skull, pushes this one, turns this one, and it click. You hear a blood click, and the altar moves, revealing a staircase that goes down into the lower crypts. They go down the stairs and they find themselves in the same little room they were. There's a couple passageways to go off, but they're not caring about that because they care about the doors in front of them, which they know are the crypt. That holds the sarcophagi and another altar that had this crystal skull on it, which they destroyed, which they Serene thinks was somehow amplifying the evil force that was inside the sarcophagi. The sarcophagi is ringed by runes, and one being the rod which was set in there, which was taken. Which, by the way, has started to glow a little blue. Serene goes, Naomi, the rod. And Naomi's got it in her pack. She pulls it out, and Serene could see it through the pack that it started glowing. She pulls it out, it's blue glowing. Not unlike a glow stick. Let's see. Nobody's severely hurt. Right? No. Someone's dead. Are we ready? This time, Naomi says, look, we're going to do, I don't know what's in here. It might be nothing. We might just have to go in and put the rune back, the rod back. Captain Miles chuckles at the morbidity of the idea that there's nothing going to be in there. They can just easily walk in there and do that. Nothing's ever that easy, he says. Right, Naomi says, that's why. Naomi's got the crushed throat. That's why Miles, and Theric, will you watch the back? So Theric's in the back. Naomi, Terrence, and Miles are going to go in the front. Actually, she asked Terrence to go in the back. So she's flanked by two dwarves. Her, two dwarfs, the rest of the peasants, Serene and Terrence in the back. And she opens up the doors. And sure enough, standing beside the, on the other side of the sarcophagi, with its hands on it thing, kind of looks up. is a more of an astral kind of. It's not it's semi-corporeal. I think that's the right way to use it. But it's a ghost-like figure, skeleton. It's wearing a it looks like a priest hat of some sort, and empty eye sockets that still are kind of glowing with a green kind of energy. And in front of the sarcophagi, facing them, are these 5 zombies that look a little bit more put together than the other zombies were. Like the other zombies were your typical Walking Dead, stuff's falling off them kind of zombies. These guys, there's some wounds and there's some torn shit, but their eyes are glowing green, which is unlike the other zombies, and they're a little hardier looking. There's 5 of them. They turn, and they all have got swords in their hands. And the specter that's behind the thing, it looks. I'd say it wasn't completely skeletal. It's got really stretched skin, and that almost makes it appear skeletal. So, oh, you're here. Welcome. I'm sorry I didn't put out any refreshments. Kill them. And yeah, so there we go. We got these 5 hardier zombies and this specter. Let's see what happens. He doesn't say it out loud, but they know he doesn't say it out loud, but he doesn't want them to get the rod in there. That means he's gonna be trapped for however long inside his sarcophagi again. So he's gonna do everything he can to stop them from doing that. We're gonna do everything we can to stop them from doing that. It is initiative time, as it always is at this time of night. All right, Naomi, 11. That's a 12. Miles, 15. Terrence, 6. Derek, 12, 13. Okay. Serene, 14. And Peasants, 8 this time. Okay. And then our Spectre fellow, 19. That's a 21, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be fun. And the other zombies, 15. That's a 16 right there. So that looks like, yeah, we got the big bads are leading the charge. So right after he says, kill them, he starts speaking in magical tongue. He's going to cast blessing on he's going to try to cast it on all 5 of those guys. See how it works. Ooh, buddy. Woo! That's a 22. 22. And let's see. 1. All right, so what's 22? All right, so it's just one of them. That's good for these guys. Yeah. So he says, kill them, and he starts speaking a thing, and he's pointing at one of the guys that's his favored one, and that one starts glowing. The green witch stuff kind of ignites around its body, so now it's kind of glowing and green. It's going to get +2 to all its rolls for the remainder of the battle, so that's cool for him. Okay. All right, so that was his turn. It was his turn, and Yeah, and those zombies go shambling off. Yeah, they're gonna get a chance to attack. Let's see. It's Naomi as the head of the spear, and then the two dwarves, and then the peasants, and Serene and Theric, and I'm sorry, Terrence in the back. So they're gonna come. The one that's glowing comes right for Naomi, and then let's see. There's 5 of them. So, well, she's the biggest one. She's got the rune or the rod. So 3 of them are going for her. This is how it always happens. This is how she ended up with a broken throat. It was always her in front. But, I mean, it makes sense there. He needs her to die, and he needs to get the rod back. She's up in front. She's the cleric. 3 of them are heading towards her, and the other 2 are heading towards, one for Miles and one for Theric. Let's take care of her first. Okay. Naomi stepping up to bat has an armor class of 16. These guys get a +1 on their melee. Well, I'm sorry, one gets a +3. Because the glowing one most certainly... Are you seeing this shit? Oh, man. Are you seeing this? Yeah, that's a crit right there. That's... are the other ones hits? You know what? I screwed up. I should have named which one was the... And because I screwed up, we're going to say that this is the +3. This guy gets plus, what did I say? They're +1. So this guy is a 15. He just barely misses her. One of them crits. And we get, oh, that's cool. That means we get the crit, roll on the undead crit table. That's sweet. Love me some crit tables. No, I don't need zombie. I don't need dragon stuff. I need crits, man. I got a bunch of paper in here. Oh, here we go. Crit tables for dragons. Love to check that out sometime. Alright. First up, I have to see, like, what... Stop it. Why do I have to have all these papers in here? Do your guys' role-playing tombs have bunches of notes and... Alright, these guys have, their HD is, 2? 2, right? Yes. 2. Monster HD 2. They're rolling on... They hating UD6. You know UD6. No, UD6. Alright. That's a 4, ladies and gentlemen. 4. The horrifying visage. The horrifying visage of life after death infects the PC's thoughts as the undead leers into her eyes with its attack. The PC must make a DC 15 fort save or be shaken and unable to move or attack for the next 1d4 rounds. Alright, so, yeah. Almost wish that was the one with the green eyes, you know what I mean? The glowing eyes. But I screwed up, so they're both gonna hit him. But the one is super... maybe it's a combination of the fact that it looks like a more of a normal person than the other zombies they'd fought, and it's not rotted or anything like that. Something about it and the whole effect just... Well, she's got to make a fort save. We'll see if it actually... But DC 15 fort save is pretty high. Her fort is +1, so she's got to roll really good here. We need a... Naomi rolls a really good die. Alright, we're going to try this one. Alrighty then. So Naomi stares right back and scares it. Because she's been there. Been there. She does not care. Gives 0 shites. But they still do hit her. And these guys are doing a bit more damage than the other dudes. They are doing D6 because they got swords. Alrighty then. That's 6 points of damage to Naomi. The swords find purchase between her armor chinks. The chinks in her armor. Alright. Right. Okay. That was needs to move. That was okay. That was those 3 zombies coming up on her. That was pretty good. Her taking all that. Now the other 2. So one's gonna attack Captain Miles. Captain, what's your AC? Captain's wearing full plate. He does not get hit. And Terrence. No, I'm sorry. Okay. No. Theric. The other dwarf. Oh, it misses him as well. And that was the bad guys. Now we're on to the good guys. Miles. He is ready to kill something. Is basically what Miles is all about right now. He wants to knock it down so he can help Naomi. That's going to be his mighty deed. Wow. Wow. He goes to kick it, and it's a little farther out and than he thought. And his leg doesn't kind of flails in the air, and he falls down. He kind of clumsily with his sword. And he's even more irritated now, which is going to keep affecting his rolls thematically. Theric, however, on the other side, is suffering from the same problems of some sort. Oh well, what are the AC on these guys? They're not. It's not 10. No, it's 12. He's got an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, he just barely hits. Just barely hits with his warhammer. Yeah. So, he goes a swing, and it just about, he thinks, oh wait, I mistimed this. I totally misjudged the distance. Oh no, yes. The warhammer goes right into this thing's head, crushing right down to its neck. Its head kind of splits. Even though it didn't look like a totally dead zombie, it was still kind of rotted inside. The smell just reeks. But we have one down. Okay. Yeah, Tarek was next. Oh, good. Derek was next. Well, actually, Serene's now. Now, Serene noticed how, of course, they all should have noticed how the Spectre had cast that spell. She doesn't want it to do any more of that stuff. So she sends Midas to attack it. And Flaming Hands. What's the range on Flaming Hands? I feel like I've asked that before. It's page 140. Flaming hands, flaming hands. Where you at? Who you with? Where you at? Here we go. 15 feet. No. Well, I mean, she got the peasants in front of her too. She's in the back and behind. They're not completely in the door yet. She'd get in the door. Yeah, she could move in there if she wanted to. Does she want to try casting Enlarge again? Yeah. Well, he doesn't have... Oh, she knows better. She knows that Spectre is going to take something special to hit it. It's not going to be... Will Enlarge make him magical? No, it just makes them bigger. She knows it's going to take magic to her. All right, what she can do. All right, so Serene, of single mind and purpose, weaves her way through the peasants as quick as she can. At the moment she sees that specter and bless the one, she moves in and she moves around Miles, and she's going to cast Flaming Hands on this. She's going to get within range. It's not that big of a room. She can move 30 feet. So she moves the 30 feet and she's going to cast. So she's standing over here and she's going to cast Flaming Hands on the specter from behind the sarcophagus. Not from, he's behind the sarcophagus. All right, she gets +3. Drei? Yeah? No, she gets +2. Okay, whatever. This is the one she kept forgetting last time too. And she curses herself and tells herself from now on, if she survives this, if the town survives this, she's going to be practicing more spell casting under pressure in the coming days because it's not working for her. But she sent Midas. She sent Midas to help Naomi, and he's going to take a minute to get there. Okay, fine. Then now it's Naomi's turn. Should Naomi try to turn in order to... I think she's going to. She's going to attempt to turn these guys so that she can get to... because Law's Light, she knows Law's Light will mess that specter up. So we're going to attempt... She gets +5. She needs to roll pretty good to get rid of these guys. And that, boys and girls, is a pretty good. So that's a 25. Yeah. Oh, she's smiting. Oh, this is good. Good stuff. So she, not only this thing, she wasn't afraid, but with this thing, it hit her and it looked right in her eyes, and all she saw was that how she was vindicated in her choice of deities. And even though the swords bit into her, she calmly grabs her holy symbol and pushes out with her mind and her soul and everything. And from the holy symbol, a burst of light stabbing into the one that critically hit on her. Oh, it's a beam of 60 feet. No, it goes 60 feet. It's a beam. It's going to do 1 to 3 points of damage to that one. And then she's able to turn 1d4 plus caster level. Oh, wow. And look at that. Oh, that's a 4. 4 plus caster level, 6. Well, that just changed everything. That crit she just rolled the turn just changed this whole thing, because she hears a no as the zombies fall back and scatter even quicker than the other ones could, running to the back of the I think the one smoking because the beam of light shot from her holy symbol. And now this specter, this ancient evil, that's don't drink every time you hear the word ancient, by the way. I hope you're not, because you're going to get pretty messed up. But Justicia is here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what that just said. This whole thing came together because Justicia sent her, Naomi, here to help. And she's in the room. She's here with Naomi. Naomi's her vessel, and it's going down. Next person on the initiative list. Because Naomi, when she says that, she's not opening her eyes, but when they go running, they clear, and she's just staring right at the specter. and it's staring at her, going, "No, no." Yes. Okay. That was Naomi, and now the peasants. The peasants look at the other people for like, what do we do? What do we do? They come in the room, but they're looking at Theric and Terrence and everybody and Miles because they want to know what they should be doing. I mean, they're right to assume that their pitchforks aren't going to do much with this guy. Against this guy. In fact, this is gonna be a Naomi and Serene fight. Yeah. Okay. That was, yeah. So they're waiting. So now it's Ned's turn. Ned Razar, that's his name. Ned Razar looks directly at the peasants because they've come in the room. He sees them and he casts a word of command. How's he roll? How bad is this fight going to be? He speaks a word, "Come!" But it carries no weight. It's shaken. He's shaken. The peasants afraid, and they look around, but nothing's going on. It is now Terrence should have went, but so Terrence is moving in the room. He's got a short bow. He's gonna take shots at this guy. Actually, they'll be able to do damage. Well, no. Nope. All right. The way I'm going to do this is people will take attacks and they're just not going to do any damage to this guy's. Like, well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. That was the Spectre. He tried to word a command. It didn't work. Now we're back at the top of the list. And it's Miles, right? Yeah, Miles. Miles. Now, like, he can't get a hit in. He's not doing all that great. Naomi sends them away. He's, God, I'm going to take care of this myself. Oh, no. So we don't even need to fight this guy. So Miles is going to grab the rod and he's going to walk over Naomi. He's, the rod, Naomi, the rod. And Naomi's going to give him the rod. That's going to take a turn. Or not turn, shit. A round. Meanwhile, Theric is going to move in front of them. And then Serene. Oh, Serene. Oh, gee, Serene. Huh. Serene is going to... Something she had learned in the last battle is that she can reach deep within herself and even hurt herself a bit in order to remember a spell. She's going to do that for Flaming Hands. This time, +2 is 20. She's a blast of fire that burns up to 3 targets. Well, we only need 1. 1d6 plus caster level points of damage. So while they're doing that, she... let's do this too. Oh yeah, this is the way it works for her. Her skin turns black and peels away, revealing the skeleton, dripping lava as flames burst out of her hands across the sarcophagi and engulf the... he's still standing when it's done, and he screams. They hear a high-pitched scream, but she did 7 points of damage. That's pretty good. He screams, and yeah. The peasants are staying back. They're not going to do anything. Terrence takes a shot with his short bow, and the arrow goes right through the Spectre. It's not going to help hurt him at all. Now it's the Spectre's turn again, and he's going to... let's see. Yeah, he's going to attempt to cast Word of Command again. This time, he rolls a 17. Excuse me while I touch this guy. Oh no. That would be here. And he rolled a 17. And the 17 means... Okay. He rolled a 17, and this... Okay. The Spectre, looking right at Mecker, he says, stop. And points at Naomi and Miles, attempting to Naomi handing him the he means to stop Miles, and Mecker's got to pass a 17 willpower check. He's got a -1, so he's got to roll really good. He did not. Mecker go like this and turns and charges at Miles. Comes running at Miles. So he won't get there. It's not really his turn. So not yet, buddy. But that's happening. Well, I guess it's Miles' turn. Miles going to grab the rod and start making his way to put it in because it's in front of the sarcophagi. What's going to happen is Mecker is going to hit him en route. Serene is going to cast Chill Touch. Serene can't catch a break, man. Even last time, she just keeps forgetting her spells. All right, honey. Sorry. Theric. Theric sees Mecker heading towards... Well, they all saw it, right? He's going to intercept him and try to hold him back. He's going to grapple with him. Mecker isn't very strong. The Spectre picked the least strong one of the group. So we're going to do a grappling check. He's going to grab. Strength roll versus his strength roll. Theric's strength is... It's got a +2 modifier, so it's a 13. Mecker's got a -1. It's a 13. Theric's going to... No. Mecker is going to spend a point of luck. I don't know if this is legal or not. But we're going to spend a point of luck, and Theric can't hold him. Mecker is just got a weird center of gravity. He's tall, and Theric can't get him. He tries to hold him back, but Mecker in his he's got charmed strength. Gets past him. Okay, and then Naomi's she's handed the rod off. She's heading around the sarcophagi. It'll take her a turn to get there. She's got Law's light out. It's time to put the light out. You know what I'm saying? It'll take her around to get around, and that leaves Terrence, who's given up. Terrence is going to run and try to take care of Mecker too. He tries to grab him as well. So Terrence has got a +2 strength. He's got 11, and Mecker rolls a 16. That's a 17. -1 is 16. So neither Terrence nor Theric, both with 17 strength, can manage to grab Mecker as he races towards Miles. And now it's his turn. So Mecker is going to attack. He said to stop, so he's going to try to stab him with his pitchfork. Captain Miles. But this is where it falters, because Miles has got a lot of plate armor on, and his pitchfork rings as it shakes his hand as it bounces off the armor. Niles and Bodrick look at each other, and they're not sure what to do. They kind of move back towards the door. They're not going to do anything more. But that's when Ned looks at one of them and casts his word of command again. Ned's the name. Ned Razar is the name of our Spectre. And he rolls a 16 this time. Yep. We got to roll a. He looks at Bodrick and says the same thing. Stop. And Bodrick rolls an 11 and steals his eyes and starts moving towards Miles. Okay. Back to the top is Miles. I'm going to give him a roll. This might end right now. We're going to give him a roll to see if he can get down and slap this, place the rod. Yeah. All right. Give him a roll. He's got Mecher on him. We'll say Bodrick made it up there just to make it a little more tense. We got the two radish farmers jumping on him. Give him a roll. We'll add his strength. 2's 15. That's pretty decent. So, Miles, damned if he's going to mess this Bard up. I mean, he hasn't been much of a fight. He hasn't been good at the fight lately. But he gets to it. One of the Mechers jump on him. He feels Bodrick get on him. He gets down on his knees and he drops down to one knee, and the rod is glowing fiercely now in blue. He hears a no. He puts the rod down in there, and then there's a shriek of anguish as the glyphs all around the sarcophagi flash in brilliant light, and then he looks up just in time to see the specter kind of dissolve in ash, and the zombies that were like up against the walls and down just kind of flump to the ground. They can all hear flump, wet flump, flump, flump as the corpses hit the ground, and then everything is still. Once again, just all they can hear is people's breaths, and then Serene speaks up, says that should hold him. It's done. And Theric says, we should never have moved that. You were safe before, you'll be safe now. So, they decide that they bolt the door really good from the outside to going into this room. There's thought to keep looking around. Let's just bury this again, they think. No one's in the mood for treasure hunting. In fact, although Serene goes, we'll come back later. Her and Terrence look at each other. They'll come back later. They'll probably come back and search out the rest of it. But Naomi, Miles, and Theric, they've all had their fill. And they want to get these peasants back home. But it looks like it's over. I make it back into town, and long story short, there's lots of celebrating. That night, the night after, Naomi, all she can think about is her friends, though, and she wants to get back as soon as possible, even though she's made these new friends. And on a side note, she feels like praying after it happened, she feels like, oh, yes. It doesn't happen right after. It's going to happen on the way back home. Well, we'll get to that then. Anyway, so a lot of partying, a lot of she's a town hero. Her and Captain Miles are. They meet Serene's dad, the local lord, who wants to reward Naomi profusely. He wants to reward her quite. I don't think I used that word right. Profusely is more like for talking, but he wants to reward her a lot, but she declines because she says she did this for Justicia. She did this for her deity. She did this for good, basically what she said. She doesn't need a reward, which was smart of her. That was good. Captain Miles won't take it either because he can't take it in the military. The morning after, Miles knocks on her door and says he's leaving. He's got to get back. He should have been back 2 days ago, and he's probably going to be flayed alive for being a deserter, but he had to stay and help. And they embrace, just instant comrades, and that would die for each other. even though they only known each other for 3 days. But that's kind of the what happens when situations like this happen, at least from my experience. He leaves, and Serene, like I said, she meets Serene's father. Terrence is sad to see her go, but he and Serene have kind of hit it off because Serene had been away for a while, and now she's back, and she's kind of wizards, and there's a glint of adventure in their eyes. So who knows what they'll end up going and doing. Now Theric doesn't have a home anymore. He had a little adventuring group. He and Giles and Therese and there might have been another. They were somewhat adventurers, and now those are all dead. They were the family he knew. He feels like he owes Naomi, and since he has nowhere else to really go, he asks Naomi if he asks her what she plans to do. And she told him that she has friends that she needs to return to, that were they were a bit of a band of adventurers, and he asked her if he would be honored if he could join her, and she doesn't say no. He's lawful dwarf and showed himself in battle, and so she's happy to have the company. So Theric's coming back and going to join the party. Let's see. So even though she really desperately wants to get back to her friends, she stays just long enough to feel like everything really is okay at the town. There's no more fights and no more zombie attacks, that kind of stuff. The next couple nights, she prays, and one of her dreams, the one night she doesn't dream of Jasper, Justicia visits her and tells her that she is happy with everything she did, and that she welcomes her to the fold, and that she's now if you noticed, Naomi hasn't been casting because Naomi any spells, even though she's a 2nd level. She wasn't we had kind of played her a little handicapped for this adventure. Justicia gave her just enough ability to heal and turn, but no spells. But now that she's fully a cleric of Justicia, she's going to have spells. So on the way home, it's going to take her a couple weeks, her and Theric, to get back to Dustfall. She's going to be praying and learning and leveling up and being ready once she gets back. So that's where we're going to leave it. Naomi and Theric bid their goodbyes, never knowing if they'll ever make it back to Palmaville. Terrence and Serene are going to be, who knows what they're going to get up to. Captain Mouse goes off to the military. We did lose a few villagers, but it's okay. And that was her. That was Naomi's side quest. That was good. That was really good. Okay, so yeah. So next week she's going to arrive back in Dustfall, and it's been it took her a couple weeks away, and then about 3 or 4 days of adventure, and it's going to take 3 or 4 days, and then another couple days. So let's say a week, another couple weeks back. I mean, it's going to be a good month and a half before she gets back, and who knows what's happened since then. So we will tune in next week to see what happens then. Thank you for joining me. Subscribe if you want. All these videos are up on YouTube's. YouTube/ well, it's not a vanity URL. You got to look up the Liching Hour. I'm on the tubes. Y'all have a great night. Viva the dungeon.